I grew up quiet and shy, very insecure, very insecure. So much to the point to where I never played sports in high school. I was too afraid to talk to girls, so therefore I never went to my high school's prom. And I cared so much about what I thought other people would think and say about me that I skipped school on the day I would have taken pictures for my high school's yearbook. I lived in so much fear during my high school years. And depending on how long you have followed me in my journey, you may or may not have heard me share this before, but it bears repeating because some subscribers may not have known this about me, and so I'm sharing it in this video. But yeah, I was very insecure. I was overwhelmed with so much fear in school. I prioritized what I thought other people would think and say about me, that it crippled me and prevented me from stepping outside of my comfort zone. I discovered that I was athletically gifted from my brothers and our neighborhood friends going down to the neighborhood basketball court to shoot hoops. I was quick. I was agile. I could jump high. And that's when, on that neighborhood basketball court, it's like when it dawned on me, wow, I'm pretty athletic. And also in PE class, I realized that I had endurance, that I could jump, I was fast, just like with basketball. And, I was really feeling good about myself in knowing that I was athletically gifted. But in spite of my discovering that I was athletically gifted so early on in my life, I still could never muster up the courage to try out for any sports in high school. Now, why could I not muster up the courage to try out for any sports in high school? It's because my fear was far more greater than my desire to try out for sports. Fear crippled me during my high school years. And so when it was after I graduated high school, I was disappointed. I didn't graduate high school with a lot of fun and good memories. I graduated high school full of regrets. Full of regrets. Then I got a job at a warehouse, and I would often reflect back on how much I deeply regretted never taking the initiative in high school to try out for sports, because I felt like if I did, I would have excelled and I would have acquired a athletic scholarship to a 4-year university somewhere. But because I could never muster up the courage to try out, that became a regret that I had to live with. I reflected back on my high school years so much, because I was full of regrets from not going to the prom, from not trying out for sports, for not being more outgoing, getting out of my comfort zone, you know? And so because of this, I would start to think about my life into the future. I visualized myself as the elderly version of myself, sitting on the front porch in a rocking chair, rocking back and forth, rocking back and forth. And as I would be reflecting back on my life, I would see a life that's filled with regrets. A life that is filled with regrets. And I was like, man, I don't want that for myself. Because I want to see, when I become the elderly version of myself, I want to be able to look back over my life and see a life that has been fulfilled, you know? I want to be able to look back over my life and be like, man, I'm so glad I did that. Instead of looking back over my life and being like, damn, if only I had done that. But at that point, it would be too late. And so because I have had so many regrets during my high school years, it has become a source of motivation and inspiration for me to live my best life now. It has become a source of motivation and inspiration for me to embrace my authenticity. It has become a source of motivation and inspiration for me to prioritize the opinion I have of myself over others. It has become a source of motivation and inspiration for me to validate myself and not seek external validation. I used to blame my parents for never giving me the encouragement I felt I needed when I was growing up. Because I felt like if I had their encouragement while in high school, then I would have done more. But because I didn't, I stayed within my comfort zone. I resided in fear. And that's what a comfort zone is filled with. It's filled with fear. And I was too afraid to step outside of mine. I once was blind, but now I see. Because I often think, what if, back when I was in high school, I had the audacity to be my biggest encourager, to be my own best friend. Man, I would have been unstoppable. But this is the blueprint to how I now live my life. This is the blueprint to why I embrace my authenticity and prioritize the opinion I have of myself instead of what others may think and say about me. And there's so much freedom in embracing your authenticity. And how you go about embracing your authenticity, it comes with a lot of freedom, because what matters to you is all that matters. As long as you're not harming anyone or doing anything that would cause you and your loved ones to, that would hurt, that would bring about any type of discomfort to any of your loved ones, then hey, this is life. It's short. It's your life. It's short. Embrace your authenticity. And that's why I embrace my authenticity, man. Because life is short. Life is so short. Man, and speaking of high school, it seemed like it was just 5 years ago I was in high school. Seemed like it was just 5 years ago I was looking in the mirror, running my fingers across my face, looking to see if I can find any peach fuzz. It seems like it was just 5 years ago. But now looking into the mirror, I see all of these gray hairs. All of these gray hairs. I even got gray hairs in my nostrils. It's crazy. Gray hairs on my face, gray hairs on my mustache, gray hairs in my nostrils, gray hairs on my head, gray hairs in my pubes. We're going to be real about it. But my gray hairs are a constant reminder for me that life is short and that I should live it on my own terms and that I should not waste any more time living in fear, being too afraid to step outside of my comfort zone. Because like I got to the end of my high school years full of regrets, I don't want to get to the end of my life with full of regrets. Because at that point, it would be too late. It would be too late for me to make any changes. But it's not too late now. Hey, I'm in the best shape of my life. And each and every single day I wake up, I thank the Lord that I'm able to see another day and to right my wrongs from the day before. I thank the Lord that I have an opportunity to challenge myself and become a better version of myself. I thank the Lord that I didn't come to the realization of discovering my worth too late in life. For many years of my life, I based my self-worth off of society standards. And because of this, it held me back for so many years of my life. It hindered me. In my younger years, I felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't attractive enough. Felt like I never had enough. And it wasn't until I read the scripture in the Bible that reads, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called, that I realized that not only am I enough, but I was born enough. And with God, I will always, always be enough. I'm so glad that I discovered that you don't need superficial things to become the best version of yourself. I have the attitude of gratitude. And within each new day, I strive to make it count. I strive to make every day count. Because we all know life is short. We all know you could be gone. We could be gone at any given moment. So we owe it to ourselves to make it count. We owe it to ourselves to not live a life of defeat, to not wallow in self-pity. Woe is me. Life is too short for that. Life is too short for that. And this is what I try and I want to inspire others to see, because not too many people realize this, that every day you're wasting time. investing so much of your time and energy on the people and things that detract from your quality of life. You want to focus on the people and things that will elevate your quality of life, that will improve your quality of life. No matter what goes on in your life, no matter how bad things are and no matter how bad things get, you owe it to yourself to believe that you're going to make it and that you can overcome anything. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to not beat yourself up. There's a whole lot of other people that is in this world that will do that for you. The one person who needs to have your back is that individual that you see each and every single day in the mirror. Learn to love yourself. Spend some quality time with yourself. Get to know yourself because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. I owe it to myself. We all owe it to ourselves to not to get to the end of our lives and look back over it and see one that has been filled with regrets. No. We all want to see one that has been fulfilled. We owe it to ourselves. It's as simple as that. And that is why I look to convey a message of inspiration in every single one of my videos because, hey, I just want others to see the importance of making every day count, of living your life to the fullest. Because at any given moment, it can be gone. Just like that. You see on the tombstone, a birth date and a death date. But in between those two dates is this itty bitty dash. That dash may be so small, but it holds so much significance. So much significance. Will your little dash hold a lot of significance? Or will your dash hold a lot of regrets? Ultimately, that's up to you. But I urge you, if you're watching this video and the words that I am sharing with you resonate with you, and you haven't found the courage within yourself to step outside of your comfort zone to do something that you know you want to do. You know your heart is telling you to do it, but you're holding yourself back because you're too afraid of what other people might think and say. So you do nothing. Stop thinking about what other people will think and say and start prioritizing yourself, the opinion of yourself. Because you owe it to yourself. It's as simple as that. And on that note, I gotta go. Gotta go take my wife somewhere. And so, I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Hey, if you like the words that I have shared in my video, then by all means, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Gotta go. God bless.